All right, everyone, good evening. Welcome to session 3 of HeartSmarts Living Foods for Health and Healing program. My name is Dr. Naa-Solo Tettey. I'm the creator and director of the HeartSmarts program. I hope you are all having an amazing day, and I hope for those of you who have started the Raw Foods program that you are feeling great. Tonight, Lena Ropp will be joining us again to talk to us about fermentation. And so she's going to start out explaining what fermentation is, and then also giving us some demos in terms of how to ferment certain foods. The recipes for this evening are in the email that you all received with the Zoom link. So you have them already. It was emailed to you. After this meeting at 8:15, we will have the check-in meeting for those people who are in the 30-day Living Foods program. And so at some point during this meeting, maybe around 8 o'clock, I'll send you all another Zoom link for that. And I think those are all of the announcements. So if you all have any questions, anything that you're feeling that you'd like to know more about, you can type it in the chat and I will ask Leanna after she does the introduction about the fermented food. So I am going to go off screen and we will welcome back to HeartSmarts, Lena Ropp.
Everyone. Hi, beautiful people. Good evening. So happy to be here again. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to congratulate you all for being again on this journey. And I see some of you have already started and driving on raw food. Some is still joining. So yeah, it's never late. It's always on time. So yeah, listen to your body, listen to your schedule, make everything with pleasure. Yeah, it shouldn't be a torture. It shouldn't be something very hard. It should be joyful and delightful. And I actually, I saw one of your posts and they was saying that if I have to eat all these delicious green smoothies and all those delicious foods, if it's a challenge, I'm all in. So yeah, that's what it's about. Like when you eat these delicious foods, you understand that it's actually not a big of a challenge, right? So yeah, so guys, today we're gonna talk about specifically fermented foods, because fermented foods is, if you wanna be healthy, if you wanna live long, if you wanna be free of disease, it's not enough eating only raw foods. That's what I have to tell you. Like raw foods, sprouts, juices, fresh water, good sleep, stress-free life. It's all very important, but any person who is into healthy lifestyle will tell you that fermented foods are essential. And it's not because it's beautiful birds or anything like this. It's not because it looks gorgeous and, bright and colorful. It's actually really works miracles for your body. All these fermented foods are extra, living foods. It's like living foods elevated to the next level. And what is awesome about fermented foods that they are super inexpensive to make it at home. It doesn't get lots of skill, to make all this amazing foods and drinks. You totally can do it. If I'm doing it, you can do it, and many other people all over the world doing it, and doing it actually not from yesterday, for thousands of years. All these fermented foods were introduced, by nature actually to humans. So people didn't have refrigerators, but they had necessity to preserve their food. Yeah, so they can eat it later. They were in this challenge. So how we can preserve food, and so they just discovered thousands years ago this amazing method, which is called fermentation. And people will ferment it all over the world. So we're talking about sauerkraut, we're talking about kvass, we're talking about kefir, we're talking about miso and natto and kimchi. So you see, it's all names from different parts of the world, but they all connected. They have the same process, the process of fermentation. Yeah, and yeah, so today I'm here to show you what is usually in my fermented station and like why I'm doing this. So kind of like give you introduction into this whole full world of fermentation. Though I bet lots of you already familiar with it, and maybe you make it at home, or maybe you buy in your favorite store some fermented foods. So for me, actually, since I was very little, we were growing lots of food, and we had big harvest of cucumbers, tomatoes, carrots, cabbages, all kinds of peppers and eggplants, and no way we could eat it all right away. So we had to preserve it so we can, eat all this food and get nourished during the whole winter time. So we've been doing fermentation and canning. And so I remember this since I was little, all these multiple jars, all this, different techniques. So I saw my grandma doing this. I saw my mom doing this. So for me, it was just like part of preserving food, to eat it for longer than, let's say, this week. If you want to eat it in months, in a few weeks. So that's how you do it. You put it in a jar with some kind of solution, and then you enjoy it when you're ready. So anyway, so for me it was from long times, but for lots of people they don't know what is it. They're only familiar with some fermented foods on a shelf in a store, and as we know, anything from a shelf in a store we have to check the ingredients because lots of times they add too much of some preservatives or too much of sugar, or they do some kind of very very big steaming process which actually kills all the bacteria, beneficial bacteria. So it preserves food, but it doesn't preserve all the benefits which food can bring you. And so what about fermentation? I think it's like a transformation. So it's actually when you take the best food possible, let's say you buy it from a organic farmer's market, or as for us, we grow food in our garden. We have a greenhouse, we have a huge garden, we grow a bunch of amazing foods. We are here in Costa Rica and everything grows amazing all year round. So that's why we moved here, because we eat lots of plants. So we want to have a plants, directly from the source, from our land, which we cherish, nourish, and we use like all kinds of beneficial bacteria for our soil, because actually what is in our soil then comes to our food, and then from our food comes to our body, and our body becomes very beneficial from all these microbes which live in the air, which lives in the water, and which lives in the soil, first of all. So it's very important, exactly the quality of the soil. That's why it's recommended to buy organic produce, because when they use organic methods of agriculture, of growing food, they don't use pesticides, they don't use lots of bad stuff which you see in conventional agriculture, unfortunately. Yeah, and so we are here in Costa Rica. We grow lots of food, and we do lots of fermentation. We do lots of juicing. We do lots of blending. It's amazing. So when you eat lots of fruits, of course, your goal would be to get into gardening at some point. And depending on where you are, it can be on a little scale, on a bigger scale, and it doesn't matter. As much as you're doing something, you're already doing something, and then you get excited and you do more, and you get more excited and you garden more, and then you are, fully sustainable at some point. But anyways, so when we buy fermented foods, it's not exactly the same as when you make it, because when you make your food, you take, as I said, the best ingredients, let's say from your garden or from your local farmer, and by fermenting process, you transform this food to become even healthier food. So, and here, look, like when we eat living foods, we already eaten very healthy food, we like chop it, we, slice it, spiralize it, do whatever, any other techniques, and we enjoy, and it's delicious, and it's healthy, it's so vital, it's awesome, love it, like this is why we are all here, for the love for living food and for our bodies, which this living food gives us. When we juice, it's amazing, we have straight vitamins and nutrients, but we remove the fiber. So it's awesome in some way, but it also has some kind of, we can't be on juices all the time, and we can't rely on them all the time. So it's very beneficial during juice days, having a juice in a day. It's amazing way to incorporate more greens, and yeah, it's awesome. I love juicing, and our next section will be on juicing, actually. Yeah, so when we cook food, if we, not only raw, but we plant-based, we thriving on plants, if we cook food, we all know that during the cooking, lots of enzymes getting destroyed, lots of vitamin nutrients level getting, down. This is a way when the food getting cooked, this is the disadvantage of cooking. But when we ferment, we actually making already amazing produce, getting even better. Like how it's even possible, you ask, right? But this is what fermentation does. Like every vegetable has a natural bacteria on it. That's why, when we, let's say, do sauerkraut, we don't wash it thoroughly with soap, with brushes, with everything. We rinse it in water to remove all the, pieces, debris, like, like some soil pieces, but we don't like brush it much, because we want these microbes from your amazing, beautiful soil, or from the soil of your farmer's market, producer. You want this bacteria to be on your produce, because when we ferment, there will be, we put our vegetables in a specific environment, it's aerobic environment, it's all immersed in a solution, and specific bacteria starts to develop. In this case, when we do lactofermentation, it's lactobacillus microorganisms. And so they develop and they produce the environment which is very beneficial for them, which is completely unfriendly for other bad microbes. And it lowers the acidity of your food. So it becomes very lower pH level, which is, incredible. If you want to be healthy, you want this exactly foods. And it's actually also fights with bad guys, and bad guys can be what? Can be pesticides actually, or any kinds of bad bacteria, or even it lowers gluten levels in some kinds of beans and other things which can be fermented. So it's actually doing all the awesome things. And on your intestines level, so when you eat fermented food, and you don't need much, because just one drop or 1 gram of fermented food has billions of these microorganisms. We don't see them here, like we can't see them, but we know that there are so many of them, and they're working so hard. So, and we can see the color of the food changes, we can taste, and we see that the texture of your vegetables changes, and the flavor from being super salty changes to sour. In kimchi, it changes to very spicy and salty. So it's interesting how you can taste and you can see the work, but you can't see these billions, but they are right here. And this is actually exactly what's happening in your body when you eat. These all amazing microorganisms, they come to your gut, and first of all, they help you also to absorb all the nutrients which are in this amazing, jars. So this microflora is so friendly, so beneficial, that it helps you to absorb all this calcium in this cabbage, all this magnesium in this cabbage, all this amazing, great, and like all this cool things which otherwise wouldn't be as absorbable if you eat it without fermentation. And and then they help you with your digestion. And when your digestion is not healthy, this is actually the source of so many diseases, because 75% of our immune system, it is proven, it starts from your health, from your gut health. And when is your gut healthy? When you have lots of microorganisms living there, and so they all working together, and they all helping you to digest food, and to keep it clean, detoxify naturally, so to keep it balanced and stable, like over days, over years, and everything. And so to make your gut healthy, you eat healthy food, you eat lots of living foods, you eat lots of sprouts, you don't eat bad foods, but you also add these probiotic foods. Yeah. And people say, okay, I know this brand, there are like probiotic pills or probiotics powders or lots of probiotics products. If you like now Google or see, it's like, oh my gosh, so many. It's you don't even know where to start looking from, because all they promise best results, they all promise so good and everything. I actually have to tell you that after, like when we kids, we kind of like, our bodies are so happy. When we babies, they're so happy. We don't need any help from any probiotics. We just like naturally produce all these enzymes. Everything is so fast, so going in our bodies. Happy, awesome life. But after 30, it says that our digestion slows down, lots of functions of our body slowing down, and lots of reasons for that. And in this point, it is advised to add some probiotic at some point, with every food or once a day. So really depends on your health situation and what you eat and on your lifestyle. But then there is a big expense. So you have to buy these probiotics every month, and there are lots of subscriptions, lots of companies who provide you all these services, and you kind of like in a dependence. You see that when you drink this probiotic, you feel great. When you didn't, it's kind of so. So it's kind of like the same with any medications, with anything. It gets you trapped in a system. We are here all to discover the ways how we can do foods ourselves. And even if you eat 1 or 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut, which you made at home every day, you don't need anything else. So this is so rich in all this amazing microorganism and all these enzymes and all these digestive juices. So you don't need anything else. And so like pills and powders are great, but they are for lazy people, or if for some reason you don't have opportunity to do some homemade fermented foods for whatever reason, yes, maybe it's good to look into market of what you can buy. But guys, if you have some sauerkraut, some salt in a jar, I really encourage you to make your own. And then when you get to know how to easy to make it, you will just keep making it, you know, week after week, or as often as it's needed in your family or for yourself. And there are so many recipes. You can alterate recipes, so it's never get boring. It's not like you're doing the same thing again and again. You always incorporate different ingredients, different spices, or maybe you like the original recipe and you just continue doing the original recipe. So really up to you. We like to kind of like diversify a little bit, but we still have our like favorites, which we keep doing and doing also. So it's really a matter of choice. So look, there are fermented foods, different varieties. You can drink fermented foods, you can eat fermented foods, you can add them to, you know, any of your recipe to kind of like add this additional crunchiness, kick, sourness, saltiness. Like let's say in our family, we don't use salt much, you know, we use salt for making fermented foods. And so for us, like adding sauerkraut every day in our dinner bowl, it's kind of like what brings additional this salty flavor. Of course, I like adding celery, I like adding tomatoes, you know, which gives you natural saltiness. But adding 2 tablespoons of this is just, you know, it just gives this amazing kick, and then you get used to how it's delicious, flavorful, and juicy, and gives us a little of extra crunch to a salad. I just can't imagine any dinner without it. So that's why we keep doing it. And there are 5 people in my family. Myself, my husband, my mom, and 2 kids. And we have a baby. Baby is not eating sauerkraut yet, but she gets all the benefits through the breast milk, right? But we all eat in at least 2 tablespoons for dinner. So imagine how much sauerkraut we need. And actually, it is said that every Korean eating what was the number? I think it was 48 pounds of kimchi per year. I actually divided it. It comes to about 2-3 tablespoons a day. So, and that's actually what we eat. But we mostly prefer sauerkraut, but though we're doing kimchi also once in a while. Yeah, but this is how much they eat, and this is the reason they are so healthy. Yeah. So you see, like there is no way you shouldn't try doing fermented food. And today I'm here to inspire you, to show how it's easy, to show how it's beneficial for you. So you'll be empowered and you will go and, you know, make your own sauerkraut at home, and then you'll enjoy it and you'll keep doing it. And if you by yourself, imagine for how long this jar gonna you know, serve you. It will be for at least few months, right? So, or maybe you like it so much you will eat it faster, but you usually need like a couple tablespoons, you know, for your day, and you are all covered with all this beneficial bacteria and all this health gut, you know, benefits to enjoy from fermented foods. Yeah. But anyways, there is not only sauerkraut. There are so many things you can do. And actually, you know what? It was 1907 when there was a guy in Russia. His name is Ilya Mechnikov, and he is a father of, you know, like he was learning about immune system and what actually keeps people healthy. And he found that in Caucasian mountains, there are people in Bulgaria who eat more than 100 years. And at this point in France, people will die at around 40 years old. So you see the difference, 40 and 100. So all the Centenarians were in this area. And so he was learning, okay, what is the reason? And there are many reasons, of course: stress-free life, gardening, and all these amazing other things, which we now know as a blue zone, modalities. But also these people were drinking fermented drink, which is called kefir, every single day. And they even thought that kefir grains are gift of gods, and they were calling it like precious pearls, treasures, and they were drinking this kefir every single day. So it was poor people, but very rich probiotic drink they drink every day, made them live so long. It's incredible, right? Then, you know, it was spread all around Eastern Europe, then it was spread all around the world, and now you can hear kefir almost everywhere. And as for kefir, it's actually the easiest thing you can ever do. I'm going to be showing you now. And kefir is usually made on milk, on different kinds of milk. Usually it is, here I have my kefir right here. So usually it's used cow's milk, or it can be sheep milk, or any other milk. Where I grew up in Kazakhstan, there was camel milk used to make this kind of drink, and it was called kumis. very sour, very delicious. I was told since I was little that it's so healthy for you, and I kind of like the flavor. We also had regular milk kefir, which was super sour. And I remember when I was little, we would have a glass of kefir almost every day, but we would add like a spoon of sugar to it to make it sweeter. Or we would pour it in a cereal, and it's so we knew from when we were little that like all this like sour stuff is very good for your health. So yeah, it's interesting. But when you are plant-based, you're not, and you don't want, or you just choose not to consume animal milk for different reasons, you can make nut milk kefir. So you can use nuts to make milk and also use it in here. You can use coconut milk. You can use coconut water, or you can use just regular water, which has to be like distilled, clean, pure and nice water. So, and I many times use coconut water, but many times I use just regular water. The thing is, in milk, in coconut, there is sugars, like natural sugars, and you don't need anything else. You just use grains, and you can see here on the bottom, you see this like jelly substance. It's called kefir grains, and just milk. And then these grains, they eat sugars in your milk, and they grow and they produce this from like sweetie or flavor of the milk, or like mild flavor of the milk. They get it into the more sour taste. In situation with water, if you use water, if you don't have access or desire to use any other milks, you add a little bit of sugar, and then this sugar is food for this bacteria, for these kefir grains, for these guys you see on the bottom. They consume it, and so when you drink kefir, you don't drink any sugar. If you don't want to drink sugar, you drink the liquid which is here, and you get all the benefits. So it's same things, it's super good for your health in so many ways, and people been linking it to to have, of course, better digestion, to have healthier gut health, to live longer, to fight with different kinds of cancers. So it's overall good for you. And when it's so easy to make, it's like there is no excuse not to make it. And let's see what else I have here. So this was coconut kefir, and I'm going to show you how I'm making it just in a minute. Then I have here kombucha. I bet everybody knows what is kombucha. You can see now in stores so many brands, one is better than another, one package is brighter than another. I like kombucha. I kind of don't like to buy it because, first of all, it's expensive. Secondary, lots of times they add additional preservatives, so they add extra sugar. So when you drink, you like feel it's like sweet, really, yeah. I like to make it homemade, and when it's homemade, I can try it all the time, and I can get it fermented longer until I reach this flavor. I like when it's like this, sour flavor, not like sweet flavor. So all the sugar has to be eaten again by SCOBY. Do you know what SCOBY, guys? let me show you. What is it? It's like a mushroom almost. You see, growing here on the top of a jar. Let me actually scoop it out and show you in detail. So look, it's pretty awesome. So this is it. Look, in the beginning it seems gross, but then you learn to love your mushroom. And this mushroom actually grew during last few months, like many times. I can actually now separate it and give somebody, to share. And so what I do, I usually you make black tea with some sugar, then you pour it in here. You have some liquid left from your previous batch. I usually rinse the SCOBY, like just to make sure it's clean, and then I let it ferment, and usually ferment it for 1 week up to 10 days. And then this was actually a week ago. I just open the jar, I put a little bit, and I try, and I see how I like the flavor. Let's see. Guys, it has this natural little sparkle, like little fuzziness. So if you wanna kind of like slow down on any drinks, on any soda drinks, oh my gosh, this is the way to go. Like you just make this and it's better than anything. So for now, I really like the flavor.
Liana, can you say that again? Where did the mushroom come from? And what are you doing with it?
Yeah, so mushroom is called SCOBY. Usually, you know, you can like I got the SCOBY from a friend. And so now when I have extra scobies, I'm giving to my friends. So it kind of usually goes from, you know, hand to hand. But you can Google and you will find on Etsy people selling scoby, on, you know, on any kinds of Craigslist, you know, like your neighbors. So it's usually kind of like this, like very interactive, you know, field. So I never saw it like in a store, but I guess when you go to Amazon, you probably will Google SCOBY, and there are, I think they sell like dry SCOBY, which you then have to rehydrate and make it the same thing. But it
Can
feels
you
so good
spell
when
it?
somebody, yeah, SCOBY, SCOBY. Mm-hmm.
All right, so you have to use the SCOBY to make kombucha.
Exactly, yeah, because
There's no other
SCOBY
way
is,
to do it.
yes, yeah, because SCOBY is this microorganism which eats sugars in your black tea, which you sweetened with sugar, and it's fermented, you know, and your sweet tea becomes this sour tea, and it has, you know, it's now very rich in all these enzymes and all these microorganisms. So it's now what really good for your health. Because if you just drink sweet tea, there is not much good about it. Yeah, it's just a drink, but doesn't benefit your microflora much. Yeah, so for kombucha, you need SCOBY. Yeah, but you buy it once, or you get it as a gift once, and then it lasts forever. You know, it's only grows and it only multiplies. It doesn't die if you like making kombucha all the time. If you don't make kombucha all the time, you need to travel. There are techniques. You put it in the refrigerator, and it's you know, it will be safe for a few weeks. Or like I do, I usually when I travel, I just give it to a friend, and then I just leave it to a friend because I have multiple of them. Yeah. So
So like
this is
the
kombucha.
SCOBY is
Mhm.
growing in the jar
In a
with the
in a
kombucha.
jar, yeah. So my SCOBY was like this thin when I received it. You know, it was like very thin, very like young kind of. Now I showed you it. It's like maybe grew 5 times. Now I actually can separate it and give some, you know, to somebody who is interested in kombucha. And I already separated another one, and I have another one here in this another batch of kombucha. So I already have, you see, 2 jars.
So
Yeah.
how big should the SCOBY be for the kombucha to do what it has to do?
It's usually like, you know, it's usually not big. It's usually kind of like this size. It can be even smaller, but then it will grow to kind of be the size of your jar, the width of your jar, because it's expands and then it doesn't grow wider. It grows higher, kind of, you know. So this is how it grows.
So
Yeah.
is the kombucha in the store for lazy people,
Mm-hmm.
or is the kombucha in the store healthy?
Depends on the way they do the fermentation, depends on the way, you know, on the shelf life. And so you have to like be aware and read about the company and see exactly how they do it, because this is like the normal method. They do it in a bigger jars, they add in more spices, they add in usually more sugar to have a longer shelf life. That's why, you know, it's really depends. Like you can definitely find good store-bought kombucha, but not all of it good. So you have to like explore and see what what brand you trust. But you know, like in my opinion, when I buy store-bought kombucha, it's usually so sweet. I even feel guilty that I'm drinking sugar, you know, and I don't want actually this sugar in my body. When you make it at home, all this sugar is get eaten by SCOBY. So you're not drinking any sugar, you're drinking, you know, this completely transformed black tea, which became super healthy thing for you. So there are ways, you know, there are ways you can try. SCOBY, if it seems to you for you complicated, let's move it back and let's talk now about this kefir thing. So for kefir, this one takes, so you see kombucha takes like 7 to 10 days, and it's one first fermentation. You can do second fermentation to make it fuzzy, to add some sweet juice, but it's like, you know, later when you decide if you want it. So this is a kefir, and kefir is super easy. So it takes only 12 to 48 hours to get ready for your consumption. And all you need a jar, and you need this kefir grains. Kefir grains, again, I got it from a friend. You say I have amazing friends that's ready to share. Now I'm sharing. And or I saw you can buy dehydrated grains, or you can buy sometimes live grains online. So just Google it, you'll find it without any problem, because now it's very, very popular health item, you know, so to drink your kefir. And here, so you see this one is ready, and what we're doing, I will bottle it in a bottle, you know, in a regular bottle, because I'm gonna drink it probably tomorrow in the morning. And so all I need is a funnel here and a strainer, because I want this. I don't want these grains in my bottle. So I completely, oops, I completely move it to the bottle, and I have a little bit extra. I'll move it to here, to my glass, and we'll enjoy it now. Let's see. And you see now all the grains are in my strainer, and the jar is empty, and it's actually ready to use. And so let me show you close up on this on these grains. They kind of look, people say, like little cauliflowers. I don't know, what do you think? Something like this, yeah? So you let it sit here for a sec, and in this jar, all I need to do is to add some sugar, and different recipes say different things. People say like 1/4 of a cup or half cup. I really like to go a little bit low in sugar, but at the same time, you can go super low, so you have to use some. And just a second. So I'm using 2 tablespoons of sugar. I found that for me, it works totally great. So we're using 2 tablespoons, just putting them in here. And you can use any sugar, white sugar, brown sugar. White sugar usually is given like the most neutral flavor, because when you're using brown, you can have some kind of like different flavors. Yeah, and then you need to add hot water in your vessel and dissolve it. For now, let me just close up this bottle. So this bottle can go to refrigerator. So this is a nice bottle ready of coconut, not coconut, this time it's just water kefir. But I would enjoy it in the morning, like half of this bottle, half I will give to my husband. And it's just like nice, amazing way to start your day. You can like drink regular water if you don't have this. You know, water, any hydration in the morning is awesome. But when you have this, you immediately wake up your body, you immediately wake up your digestive system with very good microorganism, and your body literally telling you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the way how easy it's to make, it's just unbelievable. So we have here hot water. So all we do is just pour like half cup. And usually what I do, I just get it, you know, just like whisk it like this and get it dissolved. Just like this. So it takes like, I don't know, a couple moments to get it dissolved. And because the water is hot, so it happens very quickly. So now we have it here. Now we need to top it with the regular water. And in my house, we have a clean water, so it's very clean water right from our sink. So I'm just going to my sink and we'll fill it so here. So here it is. Here is our little bit sweetened water, and now we adding this hungry kefir grains. They are hungry because they ate all the sugar from here. So now they will go and start eating sugar from this water. And just in 12 hours, so it means tomorrow in the evening, or I will better let them sit till the next day in the morning, because I usually drink it in the morning. I will enjoy it. And I top it with, you can top it with, you know, any kind of clean fabric. I usually just use, you know, paper towel, put it in a few layers, put it here, and just a rubber band to cover it. That's it. That's all you do. You know, when, like for the first time, it probably seems to you a little bit complicated. When you do it a few times, it's like nothing. So it's ready. It can go back here and start fermenting. And so this is a drink. That's how it looks. And then let's see. You know, but it's not sweet at all. It's unbelievable. So it really has this sour flavor, super enjoyable. You can drink it like this. You can add it to your smoothie. You can add it to like anyhow you want to enjoy it. Like I just like drinking it this way because I think it's, I don't know, it just goes straight, goes straight when you need it. Okay, so this was kefir. Then we have here, so we talked about kombucha. There is another thing which is called ginger beer. We grow on our property lots of ginger, and you know, I'll show you. This is, look, freshly harvested turmeric. Look, this is how turmeric looks. Amazing, like all these funky shapes. Let me show you closer. So yeah, this is straight from the ground. Was harvested just a couple days ago. And this is a ginger we grow also on the ground, grows very easily, and you have so much of it, you know. So to make ginger beer, so this is how it looks. If you know, lighter in color, there is ginger actually and sugar. So you don't need any SCOBY for this. And guys, I will send you recipe also for this one. So for this one, you don't need SCOBY. It's easier. Yeah. So these are the drinks, and let me put them back in here. And again, you don't need to drink much of it. So usually it's like 1 cup per day is enough. Even some people say that like 6-7 ounces is like, you know, it's just more than enough. So I'm
Lena,
putting this.
how do you make the ginger beer? Do you put the ginger, you put it with
You
the
make
skin
ginger.
on?
Yes, you make ginger tea by grating ginger, not grating, like slicing ginger, adding it to a pot, and you boil it for like 15 minutes to make like all the, you know, juices, all the flavor of ginger into your hot water. Then you add sugar, and I usually don't add much. I usually add like, again, 2-3 tablespoons of sugar. You dissolve it so you have this hot ginger tea. Then you cool it down, and then you transfer to your jar, and it's just ferments. But you use from every time from your, like, you can start with adding some kombucha or some fermented, you know, juice from sauerkraut or something. So you need like some like bacteria a little bit in the very first batch, and then every next batch you using like little bit, just tiny bit, to kind of like start the process. But you don't need to use actual SCOBY or anything. And as you saw at the bottom of the jar, there was like this grated some pieces of ginger. So they all work there together, and they all keep producing this microbes. So you don't throw it away, you keep it fermenting time after time. So this ginger beer, yeah, it's a little bit different.
Okay, and you're going to send us the recipe for that.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Okay, putting everything from the way. And so here now we have sauerkraut. Let's see what about sauerkraut. So sauerkraut, I have here 2 jars like this to show you guys. And I have this one. So what is the difference? Here we used green sauerkraut. Here we use red sauerkraut. You know, that's how color is different. We usually make all 3 of them, and we eat them during the next 10 days. And, you know, as soon as we start eating, we make, you know, another batch. So we'll have like non-stop supply of sauerkraut. But for your family, it can be different. It is our schedule. That's what we do. And sauerkraut is incredibly awesome because all you actually need is cabbage, salt, and basil. That's it. But there are, of course, lots of other recipes when you can add some other vegetables. You can add carrots, you can add beets, you can add peppers, you can add all kinds of seeds, you know, anise, carva, you can add ginger, turmeric, so many things you can add. We actually like to add, we like original recipe, but, you know, as we have so much turmeric and ginger going on, we like to add to our sauerkraut turmeric and gingers, and we actually call it sunny kraut because it's so like colorful and just vibrant and awesome. In this one, it's only actually, look how beautiful is the color, right? It's unbelievable. So it's only red cabbage and some carrots. That's it, you know, and salt, of course, yeah. This one we love a lot because, you know, it also adds to your salad such a color. It's unbelievable. And you can use actually juice of every kraut to make the most delicious dressing. So because you see all this liquid, it's super beneficial, and it has this sourness, saltiness, all of it. So you add just a little bit, and, you know, mix with tahini, with some, you know, with some spices, and it makes the most yummy, delicious sauce also. So nothing goes to waste when you make sauerkraut. So this one I'll put in here. Yeah, and here actually I'm gonna move this here too. And I have my station here ready. Just gonna move it closer. So let's move to the ingredients. Yes, so what do we use to make sauerkraut? We actually use, as I just told you, medium-sized cabbage, green cabbage, available everywhere, like the most accessible ingredient, on the planet is cabbage probably, right? And it's super high in calcium, it's super high in magnesium, it's super high in like lots of nutrients. So there is no way not to eat cabbage. But when you eat just raw cabbage, for some people it seems to be a little bit, tough to chew, because it has lots of fibers, which is super important. Lots of people juice cabbage, which is great and awesome way. But yeah, we like actually making sauerkraut. This is the way we love consuming it. So then we have couple carrots, yeah, and this could be eaten with some sea salt. But as I said, we have all this turmeric and ginger, so I'm also going to be adding turmeric and ginger. And to make it to the next level, I also add in a little bit of pineapple. Look at this pineapple. How cool is this? Actually, also talking about pineapple, we never throw away those beautiful crowns. So look how cool is it. So you do it like this. Now, let's see. You just twist it. And look, and this we put in the ground. Yeah, some people put it in a jar, let it get roots started. It depends on where you live. You can do different ways. Where we live, we just put it in the ground, and in 2 years, you have a whole new pineapple. We have like maybe hundreds of them. We have like whole pineapple hill just like loaded with these things. So we're waiting for a huge amount of pineapples coming up, maybe in the next few months. Because we started planting them almost 2 years ago. But look how cool is it, right? And pineapple is pretty small. It's organic pineapple. So yeah, sometimes in store you see pineapples like this size. It's amazing, but we can understand how they go so big, what kind of pesticides they use or whatever. We like buying small ones because we understand that, when it grows proper way, it can be big. It has to be natural size. This is the natural size of pineapple. And same about turmeric. When you see huge turmeric, so this is how it should be. Small, tiny, delicious, gorgeous, like straight from the ground. Okay, anyways, let's move forward with this cabbage. So what we do with the cabbage, and I have a big bowl, guys. This bowl, this vessel, I will put my cabbage. So with the cabbage, you have many ways. You need to, when you make kimchi, you just chop it. You can use big pieces of cabbage. When you do sauerkraut, the key is to finely thin it. So I usually cut in half. Then cut in a quarter, and then I'll just start shredding it, just with the knife, and you're trying to do as small pieces as possible. So actually, usually it's even like you put it like here on an angle, you can see it, and just start working with your knife, fast, many times. You can use food processor to make it faster, but when I do big batches, let's say few cabbages, lots of carrots, when I do like few jars, I would use food processor because it's faster. But when it's just one cabbage like I'm doing now, for me, it's easier just to shred it like this. And the size and the shape, it doesn't matter. The only thing matters like the smaller you make it, the better. That's why it's called shredded, because this way, it will be softer, it will ferment faster, and it's just awesome. So I'll continue doing this. So you see, when you get it handy, it actually gets very fast. You just turn around this piece and you carefully just make your knife do the whole thing. And then I transfer, like I can you see do a couple more cuts like this just to ensure that everything is small and nice. Okay. Then you transfer this to the bowl. You see, I have it right here in front of you. Okay. Okay, and in this one, I want to add a little bit more pineapple than I usually do. I want it like to be more pineapple-ish, so I will start doing cleaning pineapple also. So for cleaning pineapple, I do it usually this way. I don't know, maybe there are other techniques, but usually this works great. Just like this, you're trying to cut all the, and actually if it's organic pineapple, you can use this skin and to make tapete. It's a traditional Mexican fermented drink. Yeah, so like nothing goes to waste, you know, if you do it right way. So I will keep it here and I will use it later. Yeah, just removing all the trash. And as for carrots, I'm using this kind of, you see, like simple peeler, and I peel the carrots just fast and easy. And you can shred carrots, or you can use the same peeler to make like stripes of carrots, which I'm gonna do now, because I believe it's easier than to cut it with knife or, you know, use anything else. So I just get my bowl and just, you know, do it like this in a bowl. And it becomes, you know, this like very thin, very nice pieces. I actually like using this technique to make my cucumbers in a salad, or whatever, like rolls I make. So it's very fast, very easy way to make like very thin texture. And yeah, super fast. Yeah, just like this. Okay. Carrots are super yummy, super delicious. I kind of like carrots in sauerkraut a lot. I like them in salads, but mostly I prefer juicing them. I like carrot juice a lot. You can add some apples, again, some lime, some ginger, some turmeric. And yeah, you have the most delicious, yummy, super rich in all kinds of minerals and vitamins juice. Okay, so we have here carrots, we have here our cabbage. I would love to add some turmeric and some ginger, but because, you know, ginger pains your hands, I will use I will use gloves. You don't use turmeric, you don't need it. But in this case, I'll do. And it's important to grate ginger and turmeric. So I'm using this little, you see I have this little grater. So I'm just taking a piece of my spice and just grate it like this. Super fast. To make sure everything is grated, and yeah, it will be all absorbed, and it will give this beautiful yellow color, you know, to sauerkraut. Oh, it smells so good, guys. Oh, turmeric smell is amazing. Yeah, and look how rich it's color. It's unbelievable, right? So yeah, this turmeric, like I highly recommend, you know, adding turmeric in many recipes, you know, in your juices again, in your dressings, in your fermented foods. Turmeric is unbelievable. And you can buy it again in pills, you can buy it in powders, you can buy it in different kinds of superfoods. Yes, so now there are protein powders with turmeric, there are all kinds of things, but yeah, the more you can use it raw, fresh, the better. Yeah, so we have this in here. It smells unbelievable, guys, I have to tell you. And we're doing the same with ginger. And you see, I don't even peel ginger and turmeric because they're from my garden, you know, they're super clean and everything. I just wash them with a brush and they are all ready to go. Yeah, and ginger and turmeric, they add this kick of flavor, you know, they make it like extra spicy. And again, it has all these anti-inflammatory benefits, so it makes it, elevates my sauerkraut to the next level. But it's totally optional. If you want to do just with regular cabbage and salt, it's awesome too. It's totally fine. Yeah, and then it's important to add proper amount of salt to sauerkraut. And there is a saying that if you don't add enough salt, your sauerkraut can get moldy and you can have some problems. So you don't want any of these problems. So there is a proportion. I'm gonna make this jar. You know, this is how much sauerkraut I'm gonna have. The proportion is like 2 tablespoons. Or there is saying that 2% solution you make. You know, you weight your ingredients and then you make 2% solution. In my situation, I don't wait because I'm doing it all the time. I just know that it's 2 tablespoons, so I'm just using it like this. And then what you do, you need to massage your cabbage, and you need to massage it for quite a, you know, proper time until you see that it starts releasing its juices. but let's say when you do fermented cucumbers or radishes or zucchini or peppers or whatever else, they don't have their natural juices. So you make water in a jar, dissolve salt, and then put you put ingredients and then pour the salty solution. When you do with cabbage, and when you do, let's say, with leafy greens, they have lots of juice inside them. And so you need to just squeeze it, like this, massage very thoroughly with salt, and it starts, being super juicy. And so all this liquid you see in this jar, it's not water. I didn't add any water. It's a liquid which cabbage released. Can you believe it? Yeah. So you massage it for like a few minutes, get it like really juicy, get it really like squeezing it very tight, like maybe you're familiar, you make sometimes kale salad. So in kale salad, you have to like squeeze it, all the juices to kind of like break some fiber and make it more biodigestible. So same with cabbage, because it has lots of fiber. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, and guys, I will cut a little bit more of, not a little, I actually need to cut the whole thing, because yeah, this is the recipe, the whole cabbage head. So let me cut it more. Does anybody has experience in making sauerkraut? Anybody had any good results? Yeah, because I've been having it since I was very little. For me, it's like part of lifestyle, having sauerkraut. And my parents, they use these big, huge barrels, like huge barrels. And so we would make these barrels and we would eat sauerkraut whole winter. So it wasn't like a dinner without, a bowl like this, little bowl with sauerkraut. And you add like a teaspoon, a tablespoon. Yeah. So it was just kind of like, this is how you eat food. It's like you also eat some stuff which is just enriches the flavor and gives like this amazing crunchiness and saltiness. Yeah, it's amazing.
Leanna, there's a question about blood pressure. If someone has high blood pressure, should they be eating fermented foods? And if so, is there a quantity?
Definitely. Fermented food deals with every single disease on the planet. It seems like it's a miracle food. And it's definitely like you eat everything in moderation. You don't sit like and eat the whole jar. You eat, as I said, like 2 tablespoons. And this is the center of a crowd, so you don't need it. You just toss it or recompost it. Yeah, so definitely. You just guys, like it's like a healing food, it's a superfood. It heals cancer, it helps with blood pressure, it helps with clotting of arteries, it helps with so many things, and there are so much research on it. That's why these sauerkraut companies are blooming now. Like, there are so many companies who make this product because people really want to enhance their health and start eating more healthy, start eating, like really rich food in probiotics. And this is like the nature's gift to us, that this is actually happening naturally, because all these cabbages, they naturally has this, any produce, it naturally has microorganisms living in it. And when we sterilize it, when we heat it, we kill all this beneficial microorganism. But when we ferment it again, we only make a better conditions for them, so they thrive, they grow, they multiply, they change this food into better food. So it's unbelievable how nature just made us, such a gift, and it was for centuries since we had it. So you see now it's so shiny, like you can see it's very shiny because it's releasing its juice, and it's already not soft, not like dry cabbage. It's already like very juicy, nice salty cabbage. And so you have to make sure you gave a very good, it's like a workout actually, guys. You gave a very good squeeze to all of them. Now important part comes. I will be adding some pineapple, and as for pineapple, I just gonna be using like half of it, and I actually just dice it into pieces. Doesn't matter here size wise, because we're not gonna massage it. We're just adding it to have like extra flavor, and fermented pineapple as the end product gives us a like nice fruity, juicy addition. So it's kind of like just a little alteration from a regular recipe. And so all you do, you just mix it up now with hands, so it's all all mixed well together. And now important part, when we take a jar, guys, let me a little bit I actually don't need this anymore. I'll just move it here. Okay. So here we have all my instruments. We have this leftovers of pineapples, and I have this cool turmeric from the garden. Okay, so here is a jar, and it's very important now to pack very tight in the jar. So what we do, we just take a couple handfuls. You see, I'll take a couple handfuls, and then you need to put your hand and like press like this, you know, like, so you don't want to have any air pockets. You want it to be like super tight. Yeah, so you do couple handfuls and again press very tight. And under this pressure, your cabbage will start releasing even more liquids, you know. It will start releasing all the liquids more and more. Okay. Putting it again and again. Like, it's a really, you know, fun time. I like when kids helping me. I like when, you know, my mom actually makes this a lot also. So it's like a family occasion. Really family fun time. And everybody likes to eat it, and everybody knows where it comes from. Everybody knows how it's actually not very complicated, but it's very exciting to make it. And we don't fill all the way to the top. We usually leave around, you know, like 1 inch over top empty, because during fermentation process, all kinds of things going to be happening here. There will be bubbles, there will be air, you know, getting out from this liquid. Even now, like I'm squeezing it and I already see some bubbles coming up. You see, it's very important to leave this space, because you will have this liquid, you know, and you don't want overflow of the liquid. So after we did all that, and here is my final product. Yeah, I mean, it's still fermented, it's not final product. We did this, I have to say, 4 days ago, and it's already, you know, very good. Yeah, but so this is it. And then now what you do, you need to put something very heavy here. And people use, you know, special equipment for fermentation. So there are like all kinds of like glass little vessels, or you can even put Ziploc bag filled with water. So it's like hold it, press it like this. Or you can even take a stone from the garden, you know, then boil it and make sure that it's clean, and you can put a heavy stone here. But there is also this kind of a thing. It's called airlock. So you see, it's kind of press it. And so what we do, we have 3 of them. Now I need that. And so you see, it's a lid, and it has a few holes. So it helps to release extra oxygen, which will be coming from all the sauerkraut. And at the same time, this spring, it helps to keep everything inside. So all I do is just firmly hold it and close it. Just yeah. So you see, now it's closed. It has some juice already in there, but it will be becoming more and more juices every day. And it has this air holes to get to release the oxygen. If you don't have this lid, no worries. You can just use regular, you know, paper towel and with a rubber band close it. But then every day you would open it and with a fork mix it a little bit, so to get this air, you know, go out. Because you don't want any air. You want it fully submerged in liquid like this. So this which will start happening with this, it will start happening just in a few hours. You know, all this water, because of the salt, you know, and this massage will start releasing. So yeah, and I have more to go. So I will fill another jar. So sometimes, depending on the size of cabbage, it's enough for 1 jar. But you see, I added also pineapple and all the other spices, so it will be enough for me to fill 1 more jar. And yeah, I'll be doing this. And at this point, I'm open to any questions, guys. You can ask me. But my goal was to show you how it's actually easy and how little of ingredients you need to do fermented foods. There are more complicated things. You can ferment beans, you can ferment, you know, you can make miso paste, or you can buy miso paste. You can make tempeh at home, or you can buy tempeh, which is super amazing ingredient. So yeah, there are so many things to do. And kimchi, of course, is amazing. We love kimchi also. Yeah, pineapple we added after we massaged the kraut, you know, after we massaged it with salt. After that, we added diced pineapple. So it's the very end, before we put all this in a jar. I'm gonna go take one more jar and you guys get ready with your questions, okay?
Hey everyone, so we have about 5 or 10 minutes left. So if you have any questions about anything at all, please put it in the chat. Also, the recipes are in the email with the Zoom link, and this video will be posted hopefully by Friday or Saturday. So if you need to watch it again to understand the steps, you can do it then. Okay. So
Yeah,
Lena,
and guys,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so the first question is from a bit earlier. It's a general question. It says, do you recommend washing fruits and vegetables with baking soda and vinegar?
Guys, good question. Thank you so much. Like my produce from my garden, I don't do this. I just rinse, and as for cabbage or your homegrown produce, you just rinse it because you don't want to remove all this amazing microflora, which, you know, on every vegetable. If I buy in a store, I definitely recommend, and I've been doing this with berries, you know, like let's say strawberries or blueberries, because not necessarily every time you can find organic, but when you do this baking soda solution and leave it for, I think like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it really helps. And you see like all this crazy stuff coming out from the berries, and yeah, it's bugs, and it's just, you know, it removes pesticides, you know, at some level. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Okay. And does fermenting fruit become alcohol after a while?
Fermenting fruit, actually not, but the drinks, let's say kombucha and this ginger beer, yes, they have little level of alcohol, but tiny one, so you're not going to be drunk on it or anything. And usually you don't drink like, you know, huge amount. So but let's say if you drink like the whole jar, you will feel some dizziness, but you usually have a cup or little. I like it to drink in a glass. It's usually doesn't give you any big fuss, but yeah, it says if you have like some alcoholic addictions in the family, better maybe to stay away. But I don't know, I never find myself like having any issues. Yeah, and it's very little level of alcohol, like very low level. Yeah,
That's
why kombucha says usually.
How much kombucha should you drink in a day?
Again, it can be dependent on your preferences. For me, I don't drink it every day because I have so many other things to drink, you know, like I have water, I have juice, I love making teas all the time, so I don't drink it every day. I would usually do kombucha maybe every other day, or, you know, like on the weekends, because it's kind of like a little bit of celebration drink for me. So I would drink like a glass, maybe like this amount, you know, so it's so what is it? It's about like 7-8 ounces, so not too much. Yeah.
Okay. And Liana, we have our water in our wine glasses tonight. I don't know if you could see mine, but we brought them just for you.
Beautiful.
So we'll be drinking water
Beautiful, guys.
from our wine glasses from now on.
It's nice. It's so enjoyable, right? And you can, like, I have so many glasses, you know, like crystal glasses, you know, nice glass glasses. It's just enjoyable, you know, like pour your juice in the morning, pour your water. Yeah, why not?
Why not? All right. So after, you might have said this already, but after you get your sauerkraut to the desired outcome, or when it's done, do you then store it in the refrigerator?
Yeah, so sauerkraut, look, guys, it depending on your preferences, it can take from 1 week to 3 weeks to make it to desired tenderness. But in 1 week, it's still very crunchy, but it's already kind of sour. Then in 2 weeks, it becomes softer and you know, little bit less salty and more sour. And in 3 weeks, it becomes even more soft. So depends how you like it. Like for us, we kind of like usually let it sit for a couple of weeks, but you know, it totally makes sense if you want, you know, diversify, have different texture, you know, for some of it just to let it sit longer. And then yes, when it's ready, like you like just taste it every couple of days and you're like, okay, I like it now. Like it's not super salty, it's like nice level of sourness, I like the texture. So this is your decision, this is your sauerkraut. Then you remove this log, so whatever weights you have, you put a regular lid and you put it in refrigerator. And in refrigerator, it can last for people say from 3 to 6 months, but I know people who were having it for 12 months. And it's like extra long superfood. Yeah, but usually it's so good, it's not gonna last for long because you'll be adding it to all your foods, you'll be adding it to your whatever you're making because it's just so good. So it will last you for maybe a month or so, but then you will want to, yeah, you will want to make it again.
Okay. And then how do you know if the sauerkraut is molded? Is it just a matter of seeing it, or is it a way it will taste?
You will, so it's recommended to check on your sauerkraut. So you just come and see if there is anything floating there. So when you open the jar, let's open this one. Yeah, there is nothing there. It's like crystal clear. If you see something like, let's say, white, kind of like a spider web thing, it's nothing bad. You can just remove it and it's okay. When you see some kind of like a fuzzy, kind of like a snowflakes, like more kind of like shapy, and they are like green color or pink color or even blue color. So this is mold. And then some people recommend just to trash it and make another one. Or some people are okay just removing this upper layer, adding a little bit of more salt and let it ferment a little bit longer. But if you're keeping an eye on your sauerkraut, if you like open it, looking at it, like not forgetting for weeks, like if you, let's say, put it and in 3 weeks you come to check it, there might something will happen. But if you're keeping an eye, you come and check every couple days, everything should be fine. You shouldn't have any problems. But it's a game of, try and you will reach you will find your way. And I want to say that there are so many amazing books on it. There are so many amazing videos and, channels about fermenting now, about sauerkraut, about kimchi, about everything, because it's a very, very, very beneficial for you. And now everybody understands it. And now everybody want to do it at home. So it's actually super easy to get into it if you still not. So you guys will have lots of support from me. You'll have lots of support online. Every health book now mentioned fermented food. So you are all on the right way.
Okay. What is the lid called that you're using for the sauerkraut, and where can we buy it?
This one is called Stainless Steel Trellis & Co. And I will send you guys the link. You can buy it almost everywhere. Yeah, so it's on Amazon. It's directly on True Leaf Company, where I get all my seeds for sprouting and, and these lids. Yeah, and yeah, it's exciting that nowadays there are so many things available. And this lasts forever. I have these lids for maybe last 4 or 5 years, and like nothing happened to them. They're just boxed as they walked in the first day.
Okay. How long did you leave the weight on?
You will leave it till you reach the desired taste, the desired flavor, because fermentation happens when it's covered with liquid, with a juice, so it has to be covered with juice, and the weight helps everything to be submerged in a juice.
Okay, great. So Lena, we have 1 minute left. Do you want to share with the group your website again, and then any discount codes or anything like that they might have access to?
Yeah, guys, if you are on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram, Pure Vegan Food. If you like, just check in my website. It's mypureveganfood.com. I have a bunch of, amazing information about, all kinds of things which I incorporated in my life and which works for me, which works for my clients. I do one-on-one consultation. I offer private retreats here in Costa Rica. Love working with people, love sharing my knowledge, love sharing the experience I gained in this last 9.5 years. It's been an amazing journey, and it's such a pleasure, and it's such an amazing opportunity, to share with you and to get you inspired. And yeah, you're on the right way. You are going directly to your health. You're going to be happy. You're going to be healthy. You're going to enjoy your life more and more with every day. You are in the very beginning of something super exciting. I'm happy for you guys. Guys, enjoy your day, enjoy your night, enjoy your next few days.
Hold up our wine glasses with water.
Cheers.
Give you a
Cheers,
toast.
cheers.
Thank you so much for being here.
See you next week, guys.
This evening, and we will see you same time, same place next week. And you guys can come off mute. We'll all say cheers and good evening. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Cheers.